All right, how's everybody doing? I'm back to talk about characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because this is what I do best: is talk about gameplay trailers and random footage. The hero just was announced like a couple weeks ago. I'm a little late to the party in terms of the analysis, but I really want to talk about this character. I also really want to talk about Banjo, but we'll talk about Banjo in another time. Because this is the character, despite Banjo being the coolest one to me, this is the character that is the most interesting to me because he is stupid. He's a stupid character. This character is going to be very good. So long as the functionality is what I think it is, and I imagine it is, this character is going to be kind of dumb. And I mean, let's just break it down. Let's just actually look at it. Unfortunately, I would like to just start before we get into anything. There is only a 30 frames per second like version of this video. There is no 60 frame per second like trailer. It is all 30. So all the frame measurements are going to be kind of off. Like things might be slightly slower or slightly faster than what they seem to be. Like in a 60 frame per second game. But yeah. Anyway, this is the stage. Yggdrasil, I think. I don't really know. I have never played Dragon Quest, but I have heard the name of the stage. This might be legal if this isn't the Omega version. I think it's the Omega version, but if it isn't the Omega version, then I don't know. Maybe you could actually get a stage here. Either way, it's not really as relevant. Let's get into it. There is a lot of gameplay in this trailer, like a lot. So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. See this big old swing? This like giant swing of the sword? I think to most people, and by most people I mean I imagine everyone, because I'm part of the most people club right now. You look at this ginormous swing of the sword and you say that's up tilt, or that's up smash, excuse me, but it's not up smash. This is up tilt. This is his up tilt. You can tell because the startup of the move has no sparkle. There's every time you do a smash attack, there's a little tiny sparkle to like denote when you're charging it. There is no sparkle, and there will always be a sparkle even if you don't charge your smash attack at all. So this is up tilt. We do see his up smash later on in this video, but this is literally his up tilt. It's just massive. It's huge. He's currently up tilting Yoshi's Nair, which is kind of neat. It's really big. I imagine it's pretty strong. I imagine you might be able to juggle off of it. It would make a lot of sense if you could, but it looks very good, like that particular up tilt. Here we see jab though. Shoutouts to Roy. A lot of this character, just to like as an aside, a lot of this character seems to be just sort of borrowed from other like swords, which is understandable. There's only so many ways you can swing a sword. You can't be that creative with sword swinging that often. You know what I mean? But you look at this character, you look at his jab, and this is like anywhere from frame 4 to frame 6, somewhere like maybe frame 5, something like that. I'm not really sure. You can't really tell because 30 frames per second, but it clearly has a very good hitbox. It lingers a little bit, it seems, because again, this move is out right now, and Mario dash attacks into it and gets hit. Like he isn't actually in the position to like be injured by this move until he moves into it. So it actually lingers for a while, which means it's probably a very good anti-air, which is really cool because it like goes pretty far above his head. He does have like anti-air up tilt that we just saw, but like anti-air jab is certainly no slouch either. It's a little quicker, so you'd be able to use it a little bit more practically too. Maybe like dash back turnaround jab is actually like a fairly useful thing. Here's the rest of the jab combo. Seems pretty standard, kind of whatever. And now we're getting into the bread and butter. So before we talk, I have to go into this assuming that you've seen this trailer at least once. I imagine you have. If you care this much about Super Smash Brothers, you've seen the air trailer before, and you're gonna watch my presumably 30-minute breakdown of this 3-minute video. But like just looking at this particular fireball, we notice that he just sort of does the move. Like there is no thinking animation. The thinking animation ever so famously used right around here-ish, if you can just like this guy right here, the thinking. He does not think when he does this. He just does. Clearly a brain dead character indeed. But he does his projectile. There is no think, which means this does not cost any MP. I imagine. It seems like only the menu moves would cost MP. I don't know why his regular specials would. This just seems like his neutral B. Like, pretty standard, good projectile. Has very little lag, it seems. Very slow. Like, the actual travel time of the projectile is kind of slow, which is a good thing. You want your projectile to control as much space as feasibly possible, and he definitely does. It also seems like it doesn't have that much lag either, so you probably can chase after it, like just follow it in, which can actually make some for some kind of good aggression, which is not in keeping with how I think this character is going to end up being. But yeah, you can kind of use it like that if you wanted to. Now let's talk about the Hadouken. The literally just a Hadouken. Look at this. He's just shooting a fireball. He did quarter circle forward, and he's got this giant Shagunetsu. This move is kind of weird, because, like, it's obviously got a ton of startup, because you have to charge it all the way up. But you'll notice that during this entire sequence, Lucario does not get launched for a while. That is because that move is a multi-hit. Which, I mean, hopefully, like, you can look at this and be like, a multi-hit giant projectile, man, that sounds like the worst thing ever. I would never want to deal with that. Indeed. It seems kind of stupid. I imagine the whole point of the move is you don't let him charge it, just run in and hit him while he's doing the charge up animation. Because, like, a giant multi-hit fireball that moves kind of slow and messes with your shield and can't really be jumped over effectively sounds really dumb. Which is, I'm going to be saying X sounds really dumb a lot in this breakdown. I just as an aside. Understand that. Anyway, let's get into Link. I actually think Link's dash attack is pretty alright. In this case, it's actually a little better than alright because it high profiles over a projectile. Now, this projectile kind of sucks, and people don't really play Ices. And also, it looks like some Z-axis stuff is going on with this, not so much like an actual high profile. I think he's just kind of clipping outside of the boundary. But, like, I mean, that's kind of neat. You can high profile over certain pokes, like if a character has like a certain low that they want to do, like, I don't know, maybe a Mario dash attacks at you, or it's not that good. It's really not that good. Maybe a punish scenario or something, but it's really not that good. But as a shift from this particular thing, let's look at back air. So here's back air. This is a backwards aerial. It's an instant short hop backwards aerial. We know because he goes from idle to jump squat to jump, like animation, which means this is the second frame of jump squat. Because every jump squat is 3 frames, and because we're watching a 30 frame per second video, this one skips 2 frames, which means idle to the second frame of jump squat to in midair. So right now this is frame 1 of being in the skies. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Seems like 18 is like the final verdict for having the hitbox out here. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. But having the hitbox in like a practical area, but it might come out a little earlier, like frame 16, 17 down here. Either way, that's not that big of a deal because you're going to be spacing it because this move is big. Look at this. It's huge. It's cutting through Piranha Plant. Look at this. Nuts. It's just like a very big move. If the hitbox is what it looks like right here, this is a fantastic spacing tool. Not even just spacing tool, just a giant wall. You just put up a big barrier every time you back air like that, and they just kind of have to respect it, it seems. I imagine it does a lot of damage because moves that are slow like that generally do a good bit of damage. Because Nintendo thinks very simply with these things. But yeah. What is notable, though, is that he lands, and he clearly has, like, a special landing animation. This is not, like, a generic landing animation that they just make a big deal out of because it's a trailer. No, this is his landing lag. It just goes on this long. We actually don't see when it ends, either. So he's probably going to have this landing lag for a while. It seems like a pretty laggy move. So if you're going to use this particular back air, you're going to probably use it retreating, and you're going to probably use it very low to the ground because it does not auto-cancel out of an instant short hop. You're going to want to do it as low as possible. You're going to want to space it as good as possible, and you're probably going to want to run away after you hit someone's block with it, unless you have, like, a read. Overall, I mean, good move. Like, it seems like a pretty good move. Just seems a little slow. Getting to all of this. I've never played Dragon Quest. I don't get these references. I do get this one, though. This is a reference to Link, again. Now, all of the variations of Link, every single different Link has this little mechanic on their shield where if there's a projectile that comes at them, they can block it regardless of the strength if they're standing still or crouching. that is almost useful, but unfortunately is not actually that useful, because most of the time when you're playing Link, you have a bomb in your hands, which means you don't have your shield in your hands, which means you can't use that mechanic. It's honestly, like, it's kind of irrelevant anyway, because there's a wide selection of characters that just don't have projectiles, but, you know, every once in a while it actually ends up mattering. I know Mega Man probably is like a pretty useful thing to have against him. Stuff like that. It seems like it'll be more practical on this character though, because he's not always holding an item or something. He can fairly effectively just stand in one spot without having to like remove his shield for any reason other than maybe to throw a projectile. But now let's get into this. This is his up B. We are fairly certain this is just his up B. Let's all take a look at this horrified child. Oh my god, he's so scared. What a hilarious face. This is android looking dude. This is actually, I'm gonna start calling him like, I don't know. I wish he had an alt that had like black hair, and I would just call him like 17. He'd just be 17. That's Android 17. But like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Anyway, he does this move. It's a big old tornado. Shoutouts to Airbender nonsense. He goes flying through the air, and you'll notice that Dark Pit is kind of getting hit for a while down here. Now, there isn't really a practical usage for this in singles, because the angle it sends at seems like kind of not that relevant anyway. But in doubles, this strikes me as a free edge guard. Your teammate might just run down there and smack Dark Pit, because like obviously you're in free fall, you're not going to be able to do anything. But like, if your teammate just so happens to have a rather large spike, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of rather large spikes in this game. This is just a free edge guard. Like, he's just stuck in that whole animation that whole time, because it's like a win box or whatever. It's supposed to replicate a win box. Yeah, not that useful for singles, but doubles gimmicks are always fun. And you know, this character's got one. Now let's get into this move. This is another example of a special move that has no thinking at the start, which means this is his side B. Unless it's his neutral B, which is, then it's his neutral B. But I'm pretty sure it's his side B, because his neutral B is the fire, I imagine. I guess. It's like, that's kind of an assumption, but it's a fairly safe assumption in my book. Anyway, looking at this thunder, he does the thunder, he feels up his sword a little bit, he's like, yep, that's pretty nice. Shoots the thunder out, kind of goes pretty fast, doesn't stay out too long. This particular animation of the thunder is a little odd, but I think this is a unique animation for the grounded thunder projectile. We will see an aerial thunder later on in this trailer that looks really dumb, but I mean, right now it's just a very fast projectile, which mixing up between a slow projectile and a fast projectile is, you know, classically a very good thing. Shoutouts to Sonic Boom. Just like, this seems very nice to have, and if it's electric like that, it's probably very good on block too. Sup slime, sup references. Again, I don't really get this. Let's talk about this move. I don't know what this is. I legitimately have no clue. What I am thinking it is, this is my like super omega assumption, is that this is a spell that buffs his next attack, right? And then this is his F smash, because again, we see a sparkle and we see a terrified child. The sparkle plus the swing, it's just a very F smash style move. It seems pretty big, but more importantly, it does this zoom. It does like a Falcon Punch zoom. This is not a last stock scenario zoom, because it has the blue in the background. It's clearly a Falcon Punch. Also, Incineroar dies and it doesn't say game, so we know for a fact it's not a like end of, because it would say game if that was literally his last stock. Other than that, this might just be a taunt. I mean, maybe it's just a taunt. Maybe he did a spell before. I'm pretty certain it's just a taunt, but my hyper omega assumption is that he has a spell off his down B or his think that gives him a power up on his next like attack, and his next attack in this case was an F smash, and it gave him the big zoom. Like, Incineroar does the same thing actually. If he gets his counter up and like the counter does a lot of damage, when he lands a side B, it'll zoom super hard, or a smash attack. Stuff like that. It makes sense. It just makes sense if he had a spell like that. Now, if he did have a spell like that, that'd be kind of stupid if he could just have it up whenever he wanted, which is why we say thank God for limited resources on this character. Anyway, now he's gonna get bullied. We will watch the hero get bullied by the villain, so on and so forth. We all love it. Anyway, time for the sickest part of this whole trailer. This is actually so cool. I haven't played Dragon Quest like at all, but this is actually kind of sick. Sup? Just like all of his friends show up. Well, not friends. He doesn't have any clue who these people are. But this guy got the forest friends on him, which is pretty sick, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, this is really cool. Like, if you're gonna appeal to the Dragon Quest people, appeal to all of them, you know what I mean? Just a really neat idea. Sakurai is full of them. Although I do like Erdrick's design. That's a spoiler, isn't it? I shouldn't say that name, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I do like his design better than all of the other three. Maybe you, but like, I like his the best. It's just a little bit simplistic. His is also pretty good, but like, pretty simplistic, not that much going on, and android haircut. It's just funny to me. Anyway, getting into it, big like power friendship stuff. Shoutouts to Up Tilt again. We're just gonna see a couple moves we've already seen before. There's a dash attack, and now we're gonna get into something scary. Now, if you have played like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for longer than a day and a half, I would say, maybe even less time than that, you have fought a Palutena. You know that character has a shield. That shield has invincibility whenever she does a move. Now, this character also has a shield that does a move in this case, and it's pretty big, and if he's playing by Palutena rules, which, I mean, he might be, there's nothing saying he wouldn't be, this is a fully invincible F-tilt. Fully invincible on this arm. You cannot counterpoke the F-tilt unless you go, like, behind him. Which also means the next follow-up that has absurd range is a free counterpoke to anything. Like, even if the first hit doesn't hit, the second hit will, because it's huge. This range is ridiculous. So, I mean, I'm just looking at this. This is kind of stupid. If that man has an invincible poke that, like, has range like this, that you can do out of a dash, like, this is dumb. This is a dumb thing. Hopefully he does not have that shield mechanic for the sake of my opponents, but I'm probably gonna play this character because he looks really dumb. He looks like a lot of fun. This looks like a very fun character, if I'm being honest. Anyway, cool poses. Haha. Appreciate Dragon Quest. Now let's get into the super fun bit. Shoutouts to micromanagement. This is something I actually really like in a lot of fighting games. Is like a resource management kind of character. Ibuki is fun, just like with the kunais and stuff in like Street Fighter V. I think that's interesting. But right now, like, let's look at these moves, right? He's got these spells. Sizzle is probably just a fire thing. Psych Up is what I think powers up his next attack. I think that's the purpose of this move. I don't know what Oomph is because, again, I've never played this game, so that might be what I'm talking about, but, like, you get the idea. But you can actually see the MP cost at the bottom. So 17 for Psych Up, and then it's 18 for Oomph, and then 16 for MP. Also, his name is just Hero. It's not the hero. He's Hero. I play Hero. Like, this is it's a very stupid name. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But like, how you gonna be broad on, like, explain all of these characters like with one name? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a gimmick. Shoutouts to a gimmick. This does no damage, is a very slow-moving projectile, and it puts them to sleep. Probably not through shield. And by probably, I mean, like, I would hope not through shield. That wouldn't make any sense. But this move is literally just a gimmick. It kind of sucks. If you jump, it does nothing because it does no damage, and it only puts people to sleep. It's bad. It's a bad move. You won't use it. You shouldn't use it. This, on the other hand, is a good move. Seems to me like a standard reflector at first glance, but then you see something weird. He turns around. He is fully, like, this reflector is up this entire time, and he can move as much as he wants. In fact, he does a taunt. Like some kind of, I think that's a taunt. Wait a minute. Is that how he charges MP? Can you charge MP? Is that how that works? I have no idea. I've never played these games. I don't know how he would recover his MP. Maybe he has, like, a special thing to do, but, like, that looks like a taunt, honestly. And that reflector seems pretty good. Like, just a reflector you can have up at all times. Seems like it has a lot of practical uses, and seems like you can honestly kind of dominate certain matchups. Like, Mega Man, it probably isn't, like... you have the shield, and you have this reflector, and you have so much that's just, like, counter-projectile game. Just seems like it'll be an interesting character to play. Anyway, let's get into another gimmick. This is a ice move, Crackle Slash. It's silly name for a silly move. It probably isn't that good. It seems like a gimmick. Every ice move in this game is a gimmick. Like PK Freeze is kind of silly and doesn't have a real purpose. And what's it called? All of Ice Climbers is just almost wholly a gimmick. It like the neutral B and the down B and stuff like that. It's just like there's no purpose to that move. It's just kind of whatever. Again, moving on with the silly gimmicks that don't matter. This is Ka-Clang. He turns into a metal. In order to properly explain how this is probably really bad, this is the startup animation. We don't actually see all of the startup because he has to think and then do the move. So the startup animation is just kind of like, all right, gonna do it. Doing the move. Gonna do the move. Doing the move. Boom, now he's metal. It took 12 frames, not counting the initial startup, like other than like the other frames that we didn't see because that was off screen, to actually start up and get your metal sauce going. And when you do, he stays metal for a while. Fox did a whole up smash and is out of lag, and this man's still metal. Assuming you can grab him out of this, which you probably can. Most moves like this, you can grab people out of them. Fox can literally up smash. Oh, he went metal. I'll just grab him, assuming you can't cancel this early. You probably can cancel it early, but it's like a trailer, so they want to emphasize, hey, it's a metal man now. But if you can't, this move is actually terrible. This is a contender for worst move in the game, I would think. Let's talk about zoom for a minute, because here we see something more important than zoom. We see, work with me here, my guy. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. We see the think. Mid-air think animation. Which means the think is actually a unique move. That is a special move that you can do at any time to like go and select something from the menu. And in this case, he selects zoom. And he goes back to his home planet. I must go now, my people need me. Kind of a silly move, honestly. This is a very, very, very silly move. This is a silly character. He's got the forest friends. I just like, this whole character is so dumb. I love it. But yeah, like zoom seems like a generic recovery move. We'll talk about you in a minute. I gotta talk about zoom right now. Generic recovery move, very Pit and like Arsene Joker up B-esque kind of like up B, has no hitbox, moves kind of fast, has maybe a little bit of invincibility at the start. Altogether, not that great of a move, but like it's good for getting you back to the stage if the other person isn't going to bother edge guarding. Yeah, I mean, it seems okay. It's just kind of whatever. Now let's talk about this nonsense. I don't know what is going on with this entire sequence, because, I mean, let's just talk about what goes on here in case we haven't like fully in case you haven't seen like what is nonsense about this. I just want to point out, Greninja is rapid jabbing. It is not hitting him. Duck Hunt is blocking during this move. Corrin did pin, and it's going right through him. So this is clearly fully invincible. It's not like armor or anything. He's just invincible. You cannot affect this man right now. And despite the fact that Duck Hunt is in his shield, kaboom, didn't matter. He's dead. So this is an unblockable, invincible one-hit KO. That's what this looks like to me. Obviously, it has its downsides. The fact that you die is a big one. That's fairly relevant, generally speaking. It's very practical to hold on to your stocks and, live. However, this seems like you can swag on people with it pretty easy. Probably, like, the best usage, assuming that you can start, like, the startup isn't super bad, which it seems like it is super bad, but, like, this as an edge guard in, like, a 3-stock to 1 scenario might be a free win. Like, it might just be a free win, honestly, because this probably kills at, like, whenever percent. Doesn't really matter. It blows you up, too. It should kill pretty early. Yeah, I mean, it just strikes me as, like, a pretty okay move, like, in terms of, like, the silly gimmick scenarios you can use it for. As a neutral tool, no, of course not. But, like, every once in a while, it might actually be kind of a good punish option or something. Let's talk about this for a minute, because now this is when I start getting scared, because I start looking at this one and I start looking at this one. This is his low forward. This is a crouching medium kick. That is what I'm going to call it. That's what it looks like. So it is official. This character is a Shoto. He has a crouching medium kick, and he does a Hadouken fireball that we saw the animation of earlier. Confirmed is a Shoto. Yeah, he's a Street Fighter character. And we just never knew it until now. But actually looking at this, kind of interesting. The mostly interesting thing is that this particular hero up in the sky here does that Thunder side B, and we know it's the Thunder side B because you'll see the startup of the move doesn't have a think involved. It's just he just gets into it, does like the full thing. Seems like he. Oh, I actually didn't notice this yet. There's a frame where he's doing the same like sword touch thing that the other hero did when he first showed this Thunder move. So that might be a charge like indicator. Like you just hold the B button and it charges up for more, which would make a lot of sense. It would explain the very fast projectile that comes out after you do it. But this seems even better than the fast projectile you get because this one is really quick, ends very fast because like he just does the move, and now he's on the ground. Snake gets popped up there, which means a very good juggle scenario in case this doesn't combo, and it's electric, which means it's probably safe on block. I'm not super certain of this, but in Smash 4, there was a 1.5 times multiplier for shield stun with every electric move. And in this game, I don't know if that still exists, but if it does, what? This projectile is going to be nuts. It has to do like 3% for it to like actually be bad on shield. It just seems so good. And not only that, but the lag isn't even bad. And now we see the man parry, though. And we're going to see a couple of things. First, we see this up smash. This wimpy-looking up smash. He just swords. It's whatever. We do see his nair up here, though. And this nair is really big. I love his facial expressions. He looks so stupid. He's so angry and scared at the same time. I love it. But anyway, let's look at the nair animation. Sort of starts up here. Like, it seems like it has a pretty big wind-up. And it starts up in the air. Like, you can kind of not really see this, but, like, there's a big blue wave up here because that's him doing the move. It actually starts in midair, sort of slightly behind him. Very Cloud-esque in a way. It's just going to swing around in a circle. But this one's actually big and useful. So, yeah. Kind of, again, appealing to me in a way. And here we see Wimpy up smash. What is this? Why is this his up smash? I understand the pose after is supposed to be something very exciting or whatever. But, like, that up tilt is so much bigger and, like, more impressive than his up smash. Why is that his up smash? It just doesn't make any sense. Either way, just kind of whatever going on. We see some taunts. We see the final smash. And, I mean, that basically sums it up for this character. Calls up his friends, and they all go sword and whatnot. It's very exciting. This is a dumb character. This character's stupid. He's a stupid character. I don't know how else to explain it. He's got absurd projectiles. They all seem very good. He's got absurd, like, silly gimmick things that you can pull out every once in a while, even though some of them seem, like, really bad, honestly. His frame, like, his normals seem stupid because, haha, sword privilege. It's everyone's favorite thing. And then, like, altogether, it just comes out, the character just seems really good. Like, unironically, a very, very, very good character in every way, shape, and form. I would be shocked if he didn't get nerfed on release. Like, just looking at what we saw here, if everything that I said functions the way that I said it could function, this character he's broken. He's just broken. That F tilt alone is broken. Like, period. Like, if that F tilt really is invincible on the first startup, that's a broken move. That's a busted, stupid move that really maybe shouldn't exist. But aside from that, a lot of his normals just seem pretty good. His frame advantage is likely to be pretty good because haha sword privilege. I talked about that earlier. Being able to lame people out with projectiles, being able to, like, recover fairly easily, it seems, like, with a lot of other stuff. He just seems so good and so fun, and I actually want to play him so bad. Like, I have never touched Dragon Quest in my entire existence. Like, in my life, ever, of all time. Honestly, if this character never got put in Smash, I would not have laid eyes on Dragon Quest, like, aside from the occasional trailer in a Nintendo Direct. But now I'm actually, like, interested, because this character seems like a ton of fun. Also, Dragon Quest kind of appeals to me, because I'm sort of, like, Is very Final Fantasy 3 is what it looks like. It's just like super basic JRPG style, which is, I mean, it's appealing. But aside from that, the sort of irrelevant whatever, that's the hero. He's dumb, and I really want to play him, and I recommend him to everyone else who feels like getting carried. There's a lot of assumptions going on, if I'm being honest, but he still seems kind of dumb. Anyway, there will be a banjo analysis later. I don't know when, in the future, but this one's going up first. Thank you for watching, again, my 30-minute analysis of a 3-minute trailer. I hope you all enjoyed and maybe learned a thing or two along the way. I'll see y'all next time.